Hi everyone, I'm Susan, here for our next Tuesday Shelf Talk. Today I'll be talking about Nora Roberts' book, Year One. So this is a supernatural apocalypse story, which is somewhat different from Roberts' usual books. We have the book in regular print as well as the audiobook, and I listened to the audiobook edition. I thought it was very well done. It was read by an American narrator because Roberts sets the story in America. I often need some time to get used to an American narrator, but in this case I was able to dive straight in, so I think that was good. I haven't read anything by Nora Roberts in the past. It didn't really appeal to me, but this one, when I read the synopsis of it, I thought it sounded really interesting. And from what I know of her usual books, this is quite different from what she usually writes. Other people have compared this to things like Stephen King's work, and I can definitely see some similarities between this and King's non-horror fantasies. So the basics of the story are that a terrible plague has struck the earth and it's killed almost everyone. Many of those who have been left alive following the plague are changed so that they have magical powers, so they might become witches or elves or fairies on the light side of things, and then there's also the darker, more evil sort of side with sorcerers and so on. And then the story follows a number of different people as they cope with the world post-apocalypse, and also for those who have new powers with those powers. I really enjoyed the approach to the post-apocalyptic story with how it occurred and what happened as the society collapsed. I also liked that there was that magical element, which isn't really that common in these types of stories. The ideas around rebuilding the society and needing each other and coming together as humans to work together, I thought was quite heartening, in spite of, I guess, the book also including the evidence of what humans can do at the worst as well, so it shows both sides. I did get slightly lost at the beginning because there's a large number of characters to get to know, but they really had very clear voices. You could tell who was who, and I think that was helped by the excellent narrator. And so I came to know them fairly quickly. I did also have to suspend my disbelief a little bit about things like that electricity and the internet are all just still magically working in this decimated world where there's no one looking after any of that. But, I mean, you have to let yourself believe that magic and so on has happened as well, and people have wings and can fly around, so it's not too far of a stretch. If you're normally a Nora Roberts fan, I probably actually wouldn't recommend this book for you. It's quite different from what she normally does. I know she does have some supernatural elements in many of her stories, but that they're usually more of a romance, and that's the focus. There's definitely quite strong violence in this story, as well as the supernatural fantasy and those survivalist elements of rebuilding. So keep that in mind. So if you like apocalyptic stories, you're not scared of a bit of gore and violence and the paranormal, or if you've enjoyed authors like Stephen King, then you'll probably like this one too. Okay, so that's Year One by Nora Roberts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week for another Tuesday Shelf Talk. Bye.